All right, today we're going to talk about something that is, and I mean this, absolutely essential for any nonprofit to survive: securing donor payments. And this isn't just about tech, ones and zeros. It's about protecting the trust that fuels your entire mission. It's about securing your future. Okay, let's just kick things off with a number that, well, it should make you sit up and pay attention. Almost 1 in 4 of your donors will just stop giving if their data gets compromised. Think about that. 1 in 4. That is a devastating loss that can take you years and years to earn back. So, that single number leads to a really tough question, right? Is your organization actually ready for that? Because this isn't some far off what if scenario. It's a very real threat to your ability to do the work you promised to do. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What really happens when this stuff gets overlooked? Because believe me, the cost goes way beyond just a few lost donations. Here's a fact that might actually shock you. Nonprofits are the second most targeted group for cyber attacks on the entire planet. So why? Well, it's pretty simple and kind of cynical. Cybercriminals see you as a perfect target. You've got all this sensitive donor info, but usually with fewer resources for cybersecurity than a big corporation. They basically see you as an easier win. And here's the thing. These threats, they're not separate problems. They're all connected. It's like a domino effect. A data breach costs you a ton of money, sure, but it also destroys donor confidence, which makes it harder to fundraise, which then leaves you with less money to fight off the next threat. It's a really vicious cycle. To really get a handle on this, let's talk about a real-world story that sent a tremor through the whole nonprofit community. This wasn't just one organization getting hit. This was a massive systemic problem. First off, just wrap your head around the scale of this thing. We're talking 13,000. That's not a typo. 13,000 organizations had their data exposed. This created a huge crisis of trust across the entire sector. And then there's the money. Wow, this was not a slap on the wrist. We're talking about a nearly $50 million legal settlement. That's the direct financial price for failing to protect people's data. But it wasn't just a financial hit. The legal fallout got really ugly. As the California Attorney General said, the problem wasn't just technical. It was that they failed on transparency. It was one thing to not protect the data, but then they weren't upfront about it. And that just made everything so much worse. So, okay, those massive breaches are the big scary monsters. But there's also this constant low-level hum of fraud happening every single day right on your donation forms. On one hand, you've got card testing. That's where crooks make hundreds of tiny donations just to see which of their stolen credit cards still work. On the other hand, there's ACH fraud, which is really sneaky. They make a huge fake donation, then call you up asking for a refund to a different account. They trick you into sending them your money. I know, that was all a bit doom and gloom, but don't worry, it is not hopeless. So now let's talk about the good stuff, the solutions. Think of this next part as your digital suit of armor. First up, the absolute baseline, encryption. That armored envelope analogy is perfect. The second your donor hits submit, bam, their information gets scrambled into a secret code. It's totally useless to any bad guys who might be trying to snoop on it while it's in transit. Then you've got this other really clever tool called tokenization. I love the coat check analogy for this. Your system never even holds the valuable credit card number. It just holds onto a worthless token, a ticket. So if a thief breaks into your system, all they steal is a bunch of useless paper tickets. It's genius, right? Now, this is so important. We're not just talking about locking the front door from the outside. We're talking about who has the keys on the inside. That's where multi-factor authentication, or MFA, comes in. It means even if a hacker steals a password, they're still stuck. They can't get in without that second proof, like a code sent to your phone. So when you put all these pieces together, you get this really comprehensive defense system. You've got PCI compliance, that's the industry gold standard. Then there's AVS and CVV checks, those little things that confirm the donor is who they say they are. You add in some smart AI that can spot weird patterns, and even a simple CAPTCHA to block the automated bots. They all work together to keep you safe. Okay, so that's a lot of tech talk, I get it, but how do you actually do all this? Well, let's break it down into a super simple 3-step action plan. And I promise this is not as overwhelming as it sounds. It really just boils down to these 3 things. Number 1, review. Take a good, hard look at what you're doing right now and find the weak spots. Number 2, setup. Get the right tools in place to fix them. And number 3, communicate. This one is huge. You have to tell your donors how you're protecting them. And for that first step, review, this quote just nails it. It's so simple. Hackers can't steal what you don't have. So if you don't absolutely need to keep a piece of information, just don't. Get rid of it. And that brings us to step 3, communicate. This quote here really gets to the heart of it. This isn't just an IT task. This is a fundraising task. When you tell your donors, hey, we've got your back, your data is safe with us, that builds the trust you absolutely need for them to keep supporting your mission. All right, last section, and this is a big one. You got to remember that securing your systems is not a one-time project. It's not set it and forget it. It's an ongoing commitment to your donors that's vital for the long-term health of your mission. And you can actually see if what you're doing is working. You should be tracking this stuff. Look at your number of fraud incidents. Is that going down? What about your donor retention rate? Is that going up? Those numbers tell a story, and it's a story of whether or not your donors trust you. So what does that look like day to day? Well, here's your maintenance checklist. It's all about building good habits. Do regular checkups, keep all your software up to date, train your staff, and please have a plan for what to do when things go wrong. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's pretty straightforward. An overwhelming majority of your donors care deeply about this. And here's the good news. You have the power to protect them. Most of these breaches aren't some sophisticated Mission Impossible style hack. They are totally preventable failures. So I'll leave you with this final thought, and it's really the most important question of all. Your donors trust you with their mission, with their passion, but can they trust you with their data? At the end of the day, protecting their information isn't just a chore for the IT department. It's a fundamental part of honoring the trust they've placed in you.